Hi, the following is the second session between me and my client, Marissa Ross. She's a sophomore at Seton Hall University and is seeking therapy through the CAP Center for support during a stressful time. This is her first time in therapy, but she seems really open to the idea of change. Hi, Marissa.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
How was your week?
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty busy with schoolwork and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there.
Good. Well, last session I wanted to talk about this with you if you feel comfortable. Last
Yeah.
session you had briefly talked about a relationship that you had been in that was a little bit difficult for you, and I was wondering if you felt comfortable to talk about that with me today.
Yes, I would definitely feel comfortable.
All right, awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about what that dynamic was like?
Yeah, so I was in, it was my first long-term relationship, about a year ago now, but it was horrible, like very controlling. He was very restrictive of me, and I feel like because of how long I stayed with him and what he would say and do, I've just been so anxious in my interactions with other people, like dating wise or even like friendship wise.
So it's really left a mark on you. It's left you feeling anxious around other people, not just with boys, but with friends too.
Definitely, yeah.
Wow,
all
that's
kinds
gotta
of
be
people.
really hard. Yeah, that's gotta be really hard. That's
Yeah,
gotta wear quite a bit on you.
yeah.
Do you feel that any of your friends that you had at the time while you were dating him, do you feel that your relationship with them has changed at all?
If anything, my friendships with them have gotten better, but for the
Okay.
mere fact that they did not like him and did not like,
Okay.
that I was putting myself through this. And it's very, I'm not anxious with my like close friends. Like I'm pretty open with them, and even when I was in the awful relationship, I would be pretty open about, telling them the problems that we would be having.
Yeah.
But so it's definitely in that aspect been better with them now because they're just happy that I'm not like constantly putting myself through that like, every day. But yeah, really just with like people in my classes or just strangers that I'm meeting, I just feel like really anxious about like opening up about anything.
Yeah.
So
So what was some of the things that went on that made you feel that way? What were some of the things that made you feel that he controlled you or made you feel like you weren't saying the right thing or doing the right thing?
yeah, so he was just very critical of everything I would do and say. Like if I went to go hang out with my friends,
Yeah.
he would, call me very derogatory names because I wasn't, with him or paying attention to him. He would always expect me to text him back right away, and if I didn't, it would be this whole crazy argument. He would criticize my appearance, even like the way that I would
Really?
wear my hair or the way I would dress for something. So I became just very self-conscious of everything
course.
because of that.
How could you not with someone that you're supposed to feel is supposed to build you up is taking you down?
Yeah,
That's gotta be incredibly hard.
it definitely was.
How has that left you in terms of pursuing a new relationship and wanting to? Were there any qualities about your relationship that you did like that you would like to see in another relationship?
Yeah, so it was fine in the beginning. He was very, romantic and would take me out on nice dates and say nice things. And then as soon as we made the relationship official, that's when everything changed. And I guess he felt like he owned me in a way. So with regard to other relationships, I'm always worried that if I start opening up to someone and it's really good in the beginning, it's like, why bother going through with this relationship? Because, he might turn out to be just as controlling and very upsetting like my previous boyfriend was, and then I don't want to like put myself through that again. So I'm just very hesitant to continue talking to someone to where it gets into a relationship.
Has that happened before?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
happened.
That's
I've
gotta
given
be
up
really
some
hard.
pretty good guys because I've just been too afraid to pursue. But
So what made you feel comfortable enough to pursue the relationship you're in now?
I feel like the person that I'm with now is just very, very open and accepting of me. And I've opened up to him about this previous relationship, And he's just been so supportive of what I'm going through. And even if I do talk to him about my concerns of him, turning into my ex, which I know, no one wants to hear that.
Of course.
But I just was so anxious one day. I did wind up opening up to him, and he handled it amazingly, like so calming, so perfect. So yeah, and then we didn't get into a relationship for a while. We were talking for like a year, and then so that was good. I took the time to really see if he would be a good boyfriend, and yeah, it's going well so far.
Awesome. That must make you feel really good
Yeah.
to see that you can have this side of a person that really is not bringing out the good side in you, and then you have another person that brings that out, and not only brings it out, but supports you talking about it.
Exactly. It feels like a step in the right direction.
That's awesome. So what's being with your new boyfriend taught you about yourself?
It's taught me that not everything I do is wrong or needs to be criticized. And I just feel that I can be myself, and I don't have to talk in a certain way or dress in a certain way, and be afraid that he's gonna call me names if I'm hanging out with my friends. So I feel a lot more relaxed, and that I can be a relaxed person. I don't always have to be anxious and uptight.
That's
So
gotta
in
be
that
so
regard,
freeing.
yeah, it's definitely freeing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to have that same feeling with, the strangers and other friends that I'm meeting, and the people in my classes. Slowly working on that.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You've got to feel really good about that.
Yeah, I definitely do. It's a good milestone, I guess,
Yeah.
that I finally gotten to.
Do you feel any of the lingering things that have gone on with his negative behavior? Do you feel any of those lingering feelings still now about how that made you feel back then? Do you feel any of that now, or can you kind of let that go?
Yeah, I've recently been trying to let it go. Before, I hated him. Like, I would just think about him, and I hated him, and I wish I had never gotten into the relationship. But now I'm thinking of it in a different way. Like, yeah, it was unfortunate that he was so verbally abusive towards me, but it's a learning experience, and now I know what to look for in future partners, although I do have a current partner that I hope lasts. But yeah, I definitely, as time goes on, I'm definitely a little more calmer about it.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have a little bit more confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That you feel that you can make the right choices and not be worried about what somebody thinks the way that you're dressed, or how you wear your hair, or who you're hanging out with.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very freeing, as you said.
Yeah, and I think that with your new boyfriend, I think being able to explain to him, like you said, being able to explain to him what's gone on in the past, and being able to have him be receptive to that. Did he recognize that was something that was coming at you rather than you being a part of it?
Yeah, so currently what I'm dealing with now is I get a little anxious before I say something to him, and kind of in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, is he gonna react the way my ex did? Or so I was always afraid to bring up if I felt upset at him, I would be upset to bring that up, because I would be afraid that we would go into a fight and it would escalate. So I would often keep things to myself, and then be quiet with him, and I wouldn't answer him right away, or give him one-word answers. And so he kind of was like, what's up with that? Why aren't you communicating with me?
So
and
he
then
picked up on the nonverbal cues that you were giving him.
He definitely did, and that's he pushed me enough to, or in a gentle way, gently pushed me enough to kind of open up about it.
Because sometimes fighting is good.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big brawl where everything's blowing up.
Yeah. Ideally, I wouldn't even want to fight at all.
Of course.
Because
of course.
I don't know, but you're right. Not everything's perfect, and fighting, I guess, shows you care in a way.
Right, you're invested in it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Thank you.
And I will